So there's a look at Louie Espinoza. He looks upon this really as a tune-up fight, but he says, I never look by any opponent. I take every opponent seriously, and in this case, I agree with him. Alfred Rangel, on the other hand, had his last fight in April. He's on a 3-fight win streak, and of course, he looks upon this as his big chance.
And if you're looking for strategy early, it might behoove Rangel to get off to a fairly quick start, because Louie Espinoza is not known as a quick starter. You mentioned the sartorial splendor of Rangel, the American flag in certain form around his trunks. Now let's see, what would the Supreme Court rule on that in light of recent rulings? Is it okay to have a flag on your trunks?
I would think putting those things on with the pole would be a problem.
That would be, yes. So that whatever they would rule would be inappropriate. It's okay to wear those trunks as long as you don't burn them later.
Problem is, I think he expects Espinoza to salute. You see, that's...
Okay, I guess we've exhausted
We've done
the
flag gags.
We certainly have. Okay. We'll probably get a letter from the Supreme Court now. We get letters from everybody else.
That's right.
It's going to be important, I think, for Alfred Rangel to use his jab and land it often. You mentioned the remnants of a cut over Espinoza in his nose there, I guess it is. And, you know, Rangel would like to try and open that up, if for no other reason not to stop the fight, to bother Espinoza.
Espinoza actually acknowledged the fact that, yeah, there is a possibility that that cut could open again, but he says it's really not in a position where it could give me any kind of trouble. It's right directly on the bridge of his nose.
With Louie Espinoza, it's almost like there's two different fighters. I see him already, Rangel pot-shotting him. There's the Espinoza over the first 4 or 5 rounds of the fight, and then there's the Espinoza who's warmed up, ready to go, and nailing people with big shots. Certainly in the Decima fight, we saw that. Pedro Decima helped him out later on, getting tired also.
Very strong. You saw, in matter of fact, in that highlight that you had, Al, that he literally knocked Decima off his feet.
And you have to be strong to deal with Paez the way he did. I mean, it turned out to be a draw. A lot of people thought maybe Paez could have gotten the decision. Whatever the case, it was fought on fairly even terms. For Louie Espinoza to deal with Paez's power and give in return, you got to be strong.
Paez starting to get some recognition, too. He was a very tough fighter.
Well, his first win over Grove might have been considered a fluke because he beat him after losing a lot of that fight. The second fight, he was good against him. And so Paez is a real force in that featherweight division. In fact, one of the champions.
That first fight, as a matter of fact, he made up 4 rounds all in one. The final round of that fight was a 10-6 round. In all the years I've been doing boxing, I've never seen a 10-6 round. And it was legitimate.
Yeah, 3 knockdowns. He did everything but knock him out. Louie with a good hook. He's actually getting off quicker, Louie, than in recent fights I've seen him in. He might still lose this round, but he did some nice work.
Coming to the end of the first round, and a better than average first round for Louie Espinoza, despite the fact he could lose it. Triple left hand by Espinoza. Espinoza, a very bright young man.
He is articulate and excellent personality. Always in the years I've been dealing with him in boxing, always as cooperative as you could ever want anyone to be.
Just look at our punch profile from the first round, and Rangel over 50% to Espinoza's 26.
And landing 18 of 35 jabs did Rangel. And you can see that Louie is landing his left hook a lot. Now that's a nice bonus for him. When he starts to get that punch in, as he is against Rangel, and he's got a good left hook, it really will help set up that right hand.
Not only a lunging left hook, but he wasn't really on balance with that right hand that time.
You can see Alfred Rangel is not a bad fighter. You can see he has skills, and you can see that he belongs in there against top featherweights. His mission is to make that next hurdle and get a big win.
These people didn't feel that Louie Espinoza was very mobile, and that may be an area that they could exploit.
That's his big deficiency, certainly. And the people like Jesus Pole, and we saw him beat Espinoza. He used that to his advantage.
One of the reasons that Espinoza took this fight is that he was back in the gym literally 3 days after the Paez fight. And his people felt, well, if you're going to be in the gym and working that hard, you may as well have a fight.
Well, he has been active, and he doesn't duck anybody, Espinoza. He will fight just about anybody.
Just a little bit of blood from that cut over the nose of Espinoza. It's not really open, but it is bleeding a little bit. Left-handed again by Espinoza, but it's a little bit of a lunging left hand. Best punch of the fight by Espinoza.
And that's where that left hook helped open up the right hand for Espinoza.
Triple left hook that time by Espinoza.
And even though Alfred Rangel is fighting very well, possibly even winning this round, good countering, you get the feeling that Espinoza is keeping himself right in there.
There's the corner of Alfred Rangel, and meanwhile, in the blue corner, the corner of Louie Espinoza, they will work on the nose. As we mentioned, it is not serious right now, but it did open up a little bit. They have the ice on it, as you can see.
Another. Swallow a little bit. Now, Blue. You understand? You're making it way harder. Blue. He's trying to kill him. Combination. Bam, bam, bam. Mix him up. Faint, get off harder, right? Huh? Just get off, man, okay? Oh. You hear me? Get off, okay?
Louie Espinoza wants so badly to get this punch in. The right. That's been the best one he's thrown. That's not the super duper Louie Espinoza right hand.
Alfred Rangel, meanwhile, with two pretty good rounds for him. And we start round number 3. Told Espinoza to put a little bit more behind his punches, because that's something could be easier said than done.
Yeah. Well, there's the hook by Louie. That's the one thing that right now he's getting there, and there's the right hand behind it. So when he gets his rhythm going and gets aggressive, unless you're giving him a lot of movement, you can get hit with some pretty big bombs.
Yeah, and you can almost sense him measuring Rangel. He's been a little bit short. He's had a lunge with some of his punches, especially the left hand. And he seems, with every passing minute, to be getting a little bit closer. Your card.
I gave Rangel the second round also. Very close round, but I thought he did better work.
Espinoza getting closer and closer off both sides now.
Rangel is giving him good right hand by Alfred Rangel. He's giving Espinoza the hook. It's almost as if he said to himself, if this guy is going to knock me out or beat me, he's going to have to do it with the left hand, not that right hand.
Good combination by Rangel in close. And another right hand by Rangel. Rangel throwing punches very quickly.
Doing his work, getting out. Fighting very much the way Jesus Pole did against Louie Espinoza.
It's obvious that Rangel's people have gone to school both on pole and decimal. Another left hand by Rangel, and he keeps that jab in the face of Louie Espinoza. And Espinoza missed with 3 punches there.
They said Rangel was in excellent condition. He looks it. He had been training for a bout, and so he took this on short notice, but it's not like a short notice fight.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight on July 7th, and when that didn't happen, and this one did, he took a couple days off. Left hand actually stopped Espinoza.
Well, the third round has been a superb round for Rangel.
It's hard to say he took a couple days off when he found out about this fight, and then went right back to work and peaked for tonight, and has looked very good so far.
It's not uncommon common for Espinoza to fall behind early in a fight. So this is not too outrageous, but of course you don't want to give away too many rounds.
Now, this is probably the best of the 3 rounds for Rangel, and of course on Al Bernstein's card he already won the first 2.
I talked about the combination punching of Rangel, the right, but he's not content to go with the right, lands the left and moves out of harm's way. And boy, that sequence is this fight in microcosm.
And as we mentioned, there is a cut alongside the left eye. Here's another look.
That may be where it came. Look at, that was the right eye that got the headbutt, or the head clash of heads, along with a body punch from Alfred Rangel.
Doesn't look to be a serious cut right now. They did work on it between rounds, but we will keep an eye on it.
Espinoza feels he was butted during the Paez fight quite a bit. And, that wouldn't be shocking with Paez. In that instance, he was the victim of a clash of heads.
Rangel just seems to be getting off quickly.
He's quicker with his hands, throwing more punches. This is almost a replay of the Jesus Pole fight. It really is. Except in that one, I think Espinoza landed a little more.
Let's take a look at the right hands thrown through 5 rounds.
That's revealing because Louie needs to get that punch in. 72 is even allowed. And there's Rangel with the jab, landing very, very well with that punch. And most of those right hands that have been thrown have either been to the body or pushed, so they weren't. I'll bet you of those 72, I guess it was, maybe 10 were thrown really with conviction to the jaw.
I think that's true. The right hand was just a little bit short. It looked along about the 4th or 5th round as though Espinoza was starting to get the measure of Rangel, but Rangel still seems to be the quicker. Punch combination. Espinoza counters with a right.
Now Louie's just waiting, and Alfred happy to take advantage of the opportunity and throw those shots. Louie Espinoza is a tough cookie. I mean, we've seen Decima hit him, we've seen Jesus Pole hit him, we've seen Paez hit him with big shots, and he's not going anywhere. So to knock him out is a real struggle. But you can beat him with lots of punches,
which is exactly what Rangel is doing. He's being very patient. He hasn't really gone after Espinoza, but he's throwing punches and bunches. Well, that's clever.
Has that been used before?
No, never. Again, it is Rangel who is simply doing more damage. But remember, Espinoza packs much more wallop.
And look how Espinoza hesitated a moment ago, Barry, to try and throw that right hand. There's a good one, and that one may have stunned Rangel.
That was a very good shot. Rangel was moving with it, though, but it still more than got his attention. Rangel backs up, another right hand by Espinoza.
And finally, he has Rangel holding, and there's another right by Espinoza.
And the bell coming just in time for Alfred Rangel. Espinoza's best effort of the night. But still, it might not have been enough for him to salvage the round.
Take a deep breath, baby. Take a deep breath.
Trevino talking to Rangel in Spanish, of course.
Spin him around, get back to the scene of the...
Remember the keys to victory we talked about. Let's go back and take another look now that we're into this fight this far.
All right, Espinoza has not cut the ring off well. Finally, in the last 30 seconds, he started landing that right hand for Rangel. The lateral movement has been perfect, and so has the fighting in flurries. He's moved in, thrown punches, and gotten right out. Here's an example of it. He throws 3 punches, takes the right, and after that, he's going to get out of there. Is the uppercut by Rangel on the inside. And however, at the end of that round, the best moments of Louie Espinoza might give him some encouragement in this bout.
And when Espinoza did get there with the right hand, he hurt Rangel, and that, of course, is significant.
The last 30 seconds of the 6th round were very important. Let's see if they can continue. Rangel knows now he can be hurt badly by the Espinoza right hand.
Espinoza comes out a little bit quicker and a little bit more intently than he has to start the 7th round. And the crowd takes up a chant, Louie, Louie.
popular young man in the West, relatively nearby Phoenix. He's fought here in Las Vegas many times. And the fight fans here in Las Vegas, especially the Showboat, appreciate an action fighter. That's what Louie Espinoza is. In this arena, very few boxers, fancy Dans, get the attention of the crowd here.
Yeah, this is a good fight crowd here. There's no question about it.
Well, I got to tell you, I still think Rangel's pitching a shutout. The round two is the only one in my question in my mind. It's true Espinoza landed very well in the last 30 seconds, but I thought Rangel won the first 2.5 minutes of that round.
One of those rounds, though, that you have an idea that Espinoza could have stolen.
Very possibly with that really good flurry at the end. Louie is really tentative in throwing that right hand. He wasn't toward the end of round 6. Well, I'm not suggesting it's panic time for Louie Espinoza, but it's getting close.
Right hand by Rangel.
Excellent punch by Alfred. What Louie Espinoza needs to do is jab his way in and just unload that right hand several times. That worked for him toward the end of the 6th round. Because he may be getting to the point where, even if my scoring isn't absolutely right on with the judges, I would think Rangel has to be a big right by Rangel. Wow.
2 of them in this round.
That shows you what Louie Espinoza is made of.
Yeah, because he moved right into that right hand twice.
And Rangel does have 10 KOs in his 17 wins. So this 22-year-old can punch a little bit.
You know, I guess the question has to be asked, Al. Why would Louie Espinoza and his people take this fight?
Well, because they want to stay active and you have to fight and keep yourself active so you can get a shot at a title.
But wouldn't the draw with Paez have given him enough impetus to get a title shot?
Very possibly, but he's built his career on fighting often and tough guys. That's the way it really should be with everybody in boxing. The other thing becomes what we're used to.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with what you're saying. I just don't see it very much. And Espinoza is tagged by Rangel and comes back with a right hand of his own.
Here, people sense that this is a pretty dramatic upset.
Now we mentioned the fact that this is a very good fight crowd here at the Showboat.
Will help tell the story. Espinoza with 45 of 110, and those have not been that powerful. Rangel landing enough jabs to do his mission. He goes down.
That is not a knockdown.
I guess he was pushed through the ropes. It's the most encouraging thing that's happened to Espinoza.
Took a left hand from Rangel again. Rangel is just quicker. But Espinoza is stronger and still dangerous.
He is, always, while he's in the ring, because you saw it at the end of the 6th round where he hurt Rangel with those right hands. I mentioned that could be a key turning point in this fight, but it wasn't because Espinoza couldn't find a way to repeat it. Land the combination, get away. It's very simple for Rangel. Not so easy always to do, but that's the way you fight Louie Espinoza. That's the way Jesus Cole did and won.
Rangel has fought a brilliantly executed fight. This is where Espinoza did the most damage, as he tries to muscle Rangel into the ropes, but he won't go.
Espinoza ranked #2 by 2 of the governing bodies, coming off a draw with the IBF champion. And right now he is in a life and death struggle in terms of winning and losing anyway with Alfred Rangel. And for this youngster, boy, this 22-year-old is looking at a big moment if he can keep it up.
He doesn't have too far to go.
There's a lot of homes cabled in San Antonio, Texas. You can bet your bottom dollar. A lot of them are watching this bout, and they're happy.
Absolutely. Well, their man has really fought an exemplary fight tonight. backed off a bit in this final round either. He's fighting a very good tactical fight even in this last round. I beg your pardon, in this 9th round.
And he would love it to be the 10th because he's got to feel confident about what he's done. There's a right hand by Espinoza thrown with, as my friend Gil Clancy would say, bad intentions.
Running out of time, and this man, Alfred Rangel, has just dictated the entire fight. It's just that simple.
They're happy in that corner. They may be 3 minutes away from the biggest win that young man has had as a pro.
Look at Espinoza, and again, there's really not much advice that they can give.
I'll cut it off. There you go. Cut it off with the scissors. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I know. Louie, last round, give it everything you got. Walk right through him. Walk through him. Son, you've got to do it.
You're right. Not much technical advice, but they got to tell him, too, throw that right hand. You got to throw it.
So the final 3 minutes of this one, and the crowd alive at the Showboat. And we'll see if Espinoza can in fact walk right through Rangel. Look at the total punches in our punch profile.
And that would be a pretty good indication, even if you want to argue a punch here and there, that Rangel has certainly landed many more than Louie Espinoza.
Espinoza cocks the right hand and doesn't throw it. And he takes a right hand from Rangel.
Now Louie is unloading that right now, and he better. Smart move by Rangel, tying him up on the inside. After his loss to Stevie Cruz, he's beaten Fernando Ramos, Capri Lipkins, and Ricardo Flores as Alfredo Rangel. And his people, Rich Landers, said he has got a great attitude now, and it's showing in this bout.
Yeah, he's really fighting a very disciplined fight. And even in this last round, he is still getting off quicker and getting out of there.
He is in, and make no mistake about it, against one of the best featherweights in the world. Certainly one of the most dangerous. And for Louie Espinoza, if this should be a loss, boy, it would set him back dramatically.
Espinoza finally catches up with him, but Rangel fights off the ropes. And a left hand by Espinoza gets, or rather by Rangel, gets Espinoza out of there. Getting to desperation time now for Louie Espinoza.
Well, I think he's got about a minute to knock Rangel out or lose this fight. Of course, the judges will have the official word, but I would be astonished if Rangel would lose this decision.
You could even tell the tone in the corner of Louie Espinoza between the 9th and 10th rounds. Now Rangel just stays away.
They knew. They said, you just got to walk right through him. You got to knock him out. And Rangel now, why not? Why not use all of this very big Showboat ring?
Espinoza on top of him, hits him with the right hand. Rangel holds on. 15 seconds left in the fight.
I'd hold on for the last 15 seconds.
Or run.
I'd grab him, and I'd look like Tommy Hearns against James Kinchin in that 4th round. Boy, I'd hold and hold.
Or start from a crouch and run.
Yeah.
It's over. Great fight for Alfred Rangel.
They certainly think he won, and Louie Espinoza none too happy about his effort.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the official scoring. We have a split decision.
Oh, my.
Well, there you are.
Corey scores the bout. 96-95 for Espinoza. Shirley scores it. 97-93 for Rangel. Cindy Barton scores about 97-93 for the winner by split decision, Louie.
Oh,
Espinoza.
Wow. Use those exact same words about 3 or 4 weeks ago, didn't we? No, no, no.